See, my thing is in regards to Mode 1, and not to even say that I'm talking about Mode 1 that was founded by Alan Roger Curry. I'm not bashing Mode 1, but what I'm basically trying to say, for the lack of better words, is I would say, in regards to pros and cons, let's talk about the con. And once again, this is not me bashing Mode 1. Just want y'all to see the full perspective of this. So that's another terminology of mine that I'll say now, as well as what I normally say, which is the inverted perspective. In this case, the full perspective is now with Mode 1, Alan Roger Curry, he says, like, in regards to the feminine, whether lesser or greater, you'll know within like the first 5 minutes, like within the first 5 minutes per se, she knows in her mind if she wants to have sex with you or not. And you'll know within the first 5 minutes. Well, with that being said, some of it is theory, some of it is actuality. It depends on the situation. But I will say this. Just because she likes, just because she would like to have sex with you doesn't mean that she likes you. So there's a difference. Just because she would like to have sex with you doesn't mean that she actually likes you. A lot of chicks would like to have sex with a lot of different guys, but that don't mean they like them. Her energy, part of the feminine energy that she has, is a sexual energy, but it's based on connection, right? But these chicks, most of them, because they mostly are the lesser feminine, they have now perverted and warped reasons as to why they would connect with the guy. So their sexual energy oftentimes gets miscommunicated or mistranslated in many ways. And what men would hope for as a meaningful connection with the feminine via the sexual transformation or transferring or transmutation, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get something meaningful. You're going to get something that lacks meaning. Yes, you're going to get something that lacks meaning in many ways. So this goes right in with, in regards to the feminine, how most of them just need to stop disagreeing, because you weren't disagreeing in regards to having sex with that guy. Now, of course, during sex, you may disagree with the way he has sex with you or how he views sex, how he should have sex with you, But once again, that goes back to the way a lot of things have been warped, if you will. The way a lot of things have been warped. So a lot of their communications are awkward, very awkward. So what she thinks should be done sexually isn't normal, isn't natural, but she doesn't know that. But until she gets around a guy that shows her that, and she's willing to receive that, or she finds out things the hard way or through confirmation, she'll just still continue to think, hey, this is how I view sex. But it goes back to, once again, the disagreeing aspect, because it's like, if you're going to disagree with him on one front non-sexually, to me that translates to even disagreeing with him on the other front of sex, because sex ties in. To me, like, I believe that sex is marriage. And so you don't agree with the sex, you don't agree with the marriage that you have with this guy either. You don't agree with anything. I think any small amount of disagreement adds up to a lot of disagreements. Now, you'll have some of the feminine, especially the lesser feminine, who definitely don't agree with that. They'll be like, well, you got to have a certain amount of disagreements. No. What you need to have is a certain amount of coming to an agreement despite the disagreement. That's what needs to happen. We come from different places. We might not always see eye to eye, but we're on the same page. That's what it should always come down to, sweet. So that way you can get a guy that actually enjoys having sex with you, right? Because oftentimes it's not that he's impotent, he's just uninterested. Why? Because all the different times you disagree with him outside of sex, he doesn't feel that connected with you. See, connections in the currents via the electricity is always agreeable. It's always agreeable. Keep that in mind. That's the only way the transferring of the electricity can occur. Things have to be conductive. If nothing's conductive, it's more so disruptive. So a lot of times when the feminine shows up, even sexually, it's a disruption. It's not a conduction. It's not a connection. It's not a current there. You won't be current with her. You know, the only thing that's current is a man needing to shift his current, literally. You need to find another place to connect with. And so I say, ladies, if you want that connection, you got to stop disagreeing with guys all the time. You got to learn how to come to an agreement, especially if you call yourself liking the sex with this guy. Well, you got to like him too. You got to like what comes with that sex. I mean, even some of the things you dislike, if you will. You got to like all that. Because oftentimes, especially with a lot of guys nowadays, they're not wanting to have sex, especially guys that are into the monk mode. I'm not monk mode, but I get monk mode. You know, guys just wanting to be celibate, and they believe like, hey, if I can't even get along with her, I'm just not in the mood to have sex. So despite you wanting to have sex with him, sweetie, he doesn't want to have sex. He doesn't want to have sex with you because he can't even get you to agree with him. You got to agree with a guy, even if you disagree with a guy. Because if you just continue to disagree with him, he's just going to disengage. Keep that in mind. And thanks a million.